guys, I just wanted to give a quick market update on what's been happening since the COVID-19 pandemic in the transportation industry. Obviously things are crazy in the world right now. In the freight world, they're even crazier. I mean, talk about a roller coaster of events over the last few weeks. I mean, right away when they started announcing stay-at-home orders, there was panic buying, like crazy. Things were flying off the shelves. And because of that, the demand for trucks went up, right? They needed transportation out there. They needed trucks on the road. They needed to get these things back on the shelves. So the federal government, FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and DOT said, hey, as far as hours of service go, if you are providing an essential service and putting essential products back onto the shelves, we're pretty much not holding you to your hours of service, more or less, and paraphrasing a little bit of what they said, but they just said, we just need these things back on the shelves. So, the demand went up. Trucks are able to run pretty much like they did back in the day before e-logs, and rates were up. Supply and demand, very simple. The demand for the truck went up, the rates went up. And then what happened? The panic buying kind of stopped last week, right? This last week was not the greatest week in freight, not the greatest week for our economy in general, but really for the freight and the freight tonnage, it really didn't look too good. So what happened was the panic buying stopped, stay-at-home orders. If you weren't an essential business, pretty much you guys stopped production, you sent people home, right? Things are slowing down. So now things aren't needed to be on the shelves as quickly, right? They're not needed to have emergency restocks. So there's not as much freight out there. Because there's not as much freight, but there's the same amount of trucks, the demand for the truck went down. There's a lot of trucks, and essentially we're out bidding against each other trying to get this small pool of freight, the small pool of essential freight that's out there. So what happens? That drives the rates down. And so, for example, if you were, last couple weeks, when the panic buying was going on and rates were up, you might have been making $3, $4, even $5 a mile in some lanes, depending on what you're doing. And now these lanes are not paying diddly squat. I mean, for example, one of my clients, we were putting essential items back on the shelves in the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast. We run Maryland to New Jersey, Maryland to PA on a regular basis, sometimes Connecticut. And we averaged over the last 3 weeks in a dry van, over $3.50 a mile. Okay. This last week, we even struggled to keep the truck on the road. Could hardly find a load. So, this is just the beginning. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. So this is the perfect time. I'm telling even my clients, I'm telling those that I talk to, obviously I don't really consider myself an industry expert, but I do a lot of research. I keep up on what's going on with the economy and freight tonnage and the rates and the lanes. And I'm not seeing it get better real quick. So essentially what's going to either happen is a lot of trucks are going to drop out of the market, and that might help the rates a little bit, or there's going to be another upward trend of buying. Hopefully the stimulus package that's coming in gets people buying again and gets products back on the shelves. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, everybody hold on tight. But the thing is right now more than ever, it's a great time for you to reevaluate what you're doing with your truck. Are you running out of profit? Figure out what your rate per mile is that you need at least to break even. Figure out what you need to make. Run your numbers. Don't just out there running your truck just because and making your equipment, bad and having to get services and servicing your truck just because you feel like running. I talk to a lot of people, and they're going to just sit at home right now, and I don't blame them one bit. I mean, it's not safe out there for one, really, to be driving around and going to truck stop and restaurants and eating out. Like, it's really not the best conditions to be on the road. And on top of that, there's not that much freight out there, and the rates aren't good. So now is a great time to make sure you're staying in profitable lanes, staying in the lanes where there are the most freight. Reevaluate every load you take. Maybe this is a good time to possibly hire a dispatcher so you have an extra set of eyes on the load boards and the spot markets and some more contacts out there for you. This is crazy times out there, guys, and be safe, and thank you to all the truckers that are out there, and thank you to all the nurses and the doctors that are on the front lines, and thank you to you guys that are staying home and trying to stop the spread of this virus, so that way we can get back to whatever this new normal is going to be. So this is just a quick market update. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Don't be afraid to email me or DM me or visit my website or whatever. If you have stuff to add, please don't hesitate to add to it. I really just wanted to get some information out there, and people are asking me, so I just want to get some information out there, and hopefully this doesn't last too much longer. So well, that's really it for this quick little synopsis of what was happening in the industry. So hopefully here in the later half of April and beginning of May, hopefully we can start seeing an upward trend, but I really don't see it getting better here real quickly. So anyways, you guys stay safe, have a happy Easter, and we'll check in with you guys later. Thanks.